And hello, everybody, and welcome to the Waterdhavian Job. I am your DM, Brad, joined today by the three players you've come to expect since last week. That being James, Elise, and Zach. So, we are going to get things kicked off with episode 19 here. But before we do, as is tradition, there shall be a recap of what happened last week, and this week, that responsibility falls to Zach. So, if you would, please, without further ado, tell us what happened last time on the Waterdhavian Job.
Yes, allow me to inform the audience of our session upon last. It started with a reconvene at Troll Skull Manor, where Reginald was caught up with the acts of the party since his stomach flu had been keeping him out for the past couple of days or so. Where we learned that a party of werejackals were behind the selling of the cursed books that were harming the purchasers of them, though they claim to have no knowledge of such a thing, or at least intentionally knowing that it was happening. So now we were at the dilemma of what to do, since during our confrontation with them first, we had killed quite a few of their comrades, true, but they had taken Olivar hostage and was threatening us. Either we get them the money they need to resurrect their dead friends and their leader, or we get them a well enough paying job that they can earn the money themselves. And back at the manor, we were discussing what our options were with coming up with what to do. Do we just go back and attack? Do we offer them a job at the inn, even though it's not quite up and running yet? Or do we do something a bit more darker, which is what Sheldrake decided to recommend to Valerie. He offered to get some of his associates to take out the werejackals and return Olivar and all the possessions that the werejackals had upon them to her, which Valerie quite readily accepted the offer.
Excuse me, I struggled over that decision.
Now, though Valerie accepted the offer, Reginald and Elise, oh sorry, Arya, were not quite were not too keen on doing this, and they both took it up into their own hands to take some action against this. Arya more subtly and Reginald more directly himself. Reginald went out of his way to track down where jackals were staying from the information that the party had given him about the encounter, and watch himself to see if anything was going to happen, and in his mind put a stop to any foul business, as he did not want to see them murdered. And sure enough, as the next day wore on and he got to the I believe it was Undercliff Village where they were staying, and he stood outside their home and watched for a while, watching the going ons and happenings, where he believes he spotted a the assassin sent by Sheldrake's compatriots to take out the werejackals. But at the same time, another group showed up, getting them away from their own home and back to where they were. Well, back to hopefully somewhere safe, which Reginald hoped that this was Arya's doing, as she had informed him earlier that she took some steps to make sure they were safe as well. So now, with this distraction that had pulled the werejackals away from their home, Reginald broke in. Well, I don't think he really broke in. I believe it was unlocked to go inside and retrieve Olivar, which quite easily he managed to after he found him in a hidden basement. And freeing him and Olivar took the possessions of the werejackals back to the Troll Skull Manor, where everyone was truly happy to see Olivar returned, though some were quite confused on how it had happened. But Reginald smoothed it over quite well with Valerie, and together they all looked into the chests where they received some of the stuff that the Werejackals had, the books that they were making the copies of, and a chest full of gold they were presumably using to that they were presumably going to use to res their dead comrades, and the shriveled heart of what we believe to be their leader that they were initially trying to raise. And I believe Arya took the heart upon herself to make sure it got back to the Werejackals, as that was not something we truly wished to keep. And then I think the last thing that happened that session was that we went to, I believe it was the Order of the Gauntlet, correct me if I'm wrong there, to hand in all but one of the books, for we had had a quest to stop this from the very beginning. And sadly, it did not go quite as well as we had hoped. The Watchful Order, sorry. We went to the Watchful Order to return the book, saying we had solved it, though our Valerie's way of solving it was not quite up to their standards. So we were not quite paid fully for our job, though we were paid quite well for the recovery of the tomes. And I think after that we went back to the inn where we were planning on spending the money to almost finish the last of the renovations, or at least get them started, I believe. And I believe that's where we left off.
Yes, indeed. So, you may mark your point of inspiration, and I believe last time we left off as you guys were back in the tavern, sort of discussing your plans for the renovations. You've passed the money along to Sheldrake in order to get that started. And I think that we are going to go ahead and at least skip to the next day as you are all gathered around. And then I suppose I have a question for you in that regards. So, currently, you do not have any sort of wow, amazing. Currently, you do not have any outstanding job offers that I am aware of. So, I suppose my question to you is this: is there anything specific you would like to pursue over the next few days, or is it all right if we perhaps skip ahead a few days here and there, as we're now sort of approaching the renovations and the rather lengthy amount of time that will require?
I mean,
Nothing.
they still need to pay 500 gold, don't we, to get it fully up and running?
Yes.
Okay, right. Well, how about guys? Blue Alley, get that sword.
I mean, I don't think we have any other jobs at the moment.
We don't. Like Brad said, we could skip forward, or that sword.
I don't know. Do we have time for that, Brad? Or
I mean, you don't know, but you certainly are free to go wherever you like or try to do whatever you like within the city on your own time. I'm just sort of asking if there was anything in particular you wanted to do, or if you would just like to, wait for. I guess I suppose it's a question of, do you want to do something actively, or would you like to just continue to be reactive and just wait for things to come to you?
what is it, Valerie?
Sword.
I mean, if you wish to go try the sword, of course we'll go with you.
What do you think, Elise? Sword.
I have little desire to return to that place.
Ah,
Got point.
Alright, fine. We'll wait.
I don't think
I'll
any
wait
of
till
us can use a sword or want to use a sword.
Uh, all
I
of
will read
ours,
the
all
book.
of ours, like, I mean, I could use a cool sword, but I'm also not really too keen to go back there.
outwards. A lot of you. Fine. We'll wait until the tavern's up and running and
I'll
not
read the
leaking.
book. Brad,
Oh yeah, you still. When are you gonna do community service?
never.
Well, at this point in time, you have, I believe that enough time has passed, passively that you are now able to attune to the book.
All these martial techniques.
Yeah, so you now have access to the expanded abilities of that weapon.
What is so? Okay, so you can actually use all these techniques now.
Yeah, he gets like one. I think it's like one dice that he can use to do
One.
this. Uno
Okay.
dice.
A D6. You must finish a long rest, which you spend at least an hour reading the book to recover the spent dice. Okay. Nice. You're a bit of a fighter now, Zach.
Yeah, so you would have that basically the next day. All right. But yeah, so like, unless there's anything like super specific you guys wanted to go after or follow up on, as far as like information that you've gotten or leads that you've gotten in the past, I think
Well,
that we can
does
maybe
does my PI come back to us at any point during these days with anything else that he's managed to dig up on Emic Froon?
not quite yet.
Okay.
It's only been
Fair
like
enough then.
I think it's only been like a day or two.
Yeah. Fair enough then. Wait it out.
Okay. So in that case, we are going to, I guess, yeah, we pan over to the calendar that you've got hanging on your shitty wall, and you know, a few days flip by in fast forward. Um, has several days sort of passed by without any real events of interest occurring. The first workers arrive to begin working on the foundation, and a lot of the first couple of days are spent basically creating a structure in which to sort of hold up the main house while they're working on the foundational walls. And then from there, they bring in their sort of like dwarven stonemasons and the likes, and kind of get everything set up and begin working on the foundation proper. So, as that is going on, and you're sort of going about your daily business, sort of cleaning things up, speaking with Sheldrake, attending a few meetings, so like get things arranged for some of the other guilds, get that all set up. A couple of days go by. I'll say 3 days basically go by, and you receive a um, you receive a I wouldn't say like a letter, basically like this kind of calling card almost is left at your doorstep. You notice it as you're leaving on an errand for the day. You see what appears to be sort of like a simple little kind of like cardstock card with a tiger's eye uh, emblazoned upon it, sort of beveled into the card. There's no writing or anything like that on the front, but as you sort of flip it over, you see there's a short little message on there, and it sort of says, "Laid eyes upon an interesting transaction. Tell you more at my place, V."
E. Who could it be? A tiger's eye, man. That's a bit gaudy for something that I think that he would have.
It's literally the name of his business.
Oh, it is, isn't it? The tiger's eye. All right. I assemble the usual crew of suspects, which in this
Usual
case
suspects.
is my fortune teller and my bodyguard.
Apparently you are his fortune teller now. Oh,
hmm
Aria, that's don't know about that
My
one.
fortune teller. Yep.
All right, yeah. So you guys head
Aria,
over.
Sir Reginald, let's go see what he's found.
You guys head over to the Tiger's Eye, and as you arrive, you sort of rap on the door and wait as the numerous locks are undone. And yeah, the door sort of like slightly opens, and you see like a single eye sort of appearing, and then after that, like a latch coming undone, and the door opens. It's like inside, quick.
Walk in.
Yeah, and as you walk in, you find it much the same as when you visited the last time. And again, he's sort of closing all the different locks behind you as you enter. And yeah, you take a seat around, and you can see that there is there's like a kettle with like a number of like what seem to be like very simple kind of like um, cookies kind of like arranged around it. Some tea basically set out. And yeah, he like walks over, and again, sort of in that very, um, I guess you could say, kind of like almost paranoid way, is like standing basically like just behind you, like in your peripheral vision, uh,
Uh-huh.
as he's talking, and you're getting situated. Uh, and yeah, he takes this sort of drag from this long pipe that he has, and he sort of says, that Emma Croon fella you asked me to follow around and look into. Well, he's been up to some interesting business, I suppose you could say. And he says, much of his day was rather uninteresting. A number of business meetings and visiting some suppliers and whatnot around the city, but a couple of times he made some stops at some interesting places. One of them I noted to be a hideout for some bigwigs. I dare not get too close because they might sniff me out. And he says, a front for the Xanathar Guild, I think. He says, don't know who your buddy was meeting with, but there's some real big players in the underbelly of this city. And he sort of says, he also visited well, a strange tavern, at least for his sort. You see, I saw him waltzing into an establishment that caters mostly to the smaller folk, gnomes and halflings. Says, I was a bit curious about this, seeing as your business rival is very much human, and this place wouldn't quite fit him, necessarily. And chanced to overhear some sort of deal going on. Seems he's enlisted the aid of some rather unscrupulous sorts to undermine your place of business. Thought I'd give you a heads up.
What type of unscrupulous sorts are we talking about? Some sort of street gang or something a bit more sophisticated?
The Shard Shunners, ever heard of them?
Have I ever heard of them, Brad?
Yes, like maybe like yesterday. They were mentioned by the information that Sheldrake got as well.
Ah, yes. Ah, yes. And she'll say it's like, yes, I heard a mention of them in the past.
And he says, small fry in the underworld compared to the big wigs of the Xanathar and the Zentarum, but they get around quite a bit. Ratty folks, quite literally. He says, were rats, the lot of them. They tend to dwell in the underbelly and the sewers, but it seems as though rather soon they're going to be making an important visit to the North Ward, to a certain establishment looking to stir things up, try to run them out of business.
I see.
And he sort of says, tell me, you haven't been noticing a bit of a rat problem in your larders recently, have you?
I nod and I say, aye, that's the case. Thought it was just an infestation, though.
And he sort of shakes his head and says, no, this is something a bit more planned, more purposeful. Sabotage. And he sort of says, the first step of many, in a grand scheme, I'm sure. And it seems your friend has paid a rather pretty penny to see you undone. I'm not quite sure what it is you did to piss him off so much.
And I was sort of like, shrugging and say, hey, and he says, well, I guess I just inherited this issue. Well, what's their MO? What should we look out for?
And he says, well, like I said, they like to stick to the shadows and the sewers. He says, you're like to see a rather large swell in the population of rats within your establishment, and suffice it to say, I think they're looking to tip off your potential clientele of such a ratty-infested place and drive them away. Undo your business before it even begins. He says, there's a chance, and he sort of says, should it get bad enough that the watch might be called in and shut the place down for good.
That sneaky son of a... Right. I was sort of like, I don't suppose there's a way. Don't suppose you know if there's a way to get them to stop. Are they the type to honor a contract, or could we buy them off?
Folk like that, there's only one thing that they care about, one thing that motivates them. And he says, if you're able to outdo your competitor's deal, I'm sure they'll be willing to look the other way. Thing is, you gotta be able to get close enough to them without them stabbing you in the gut first. And he sort of stops for a moment and says, if you're interested, however, they've got a place down in the dock ward. Let me just double check here. Where's it go? Yeah. So he says, there's a place on Spices Street. And he says, a hostel of sorts, run by halflings and the likes. He says, it's a known base of operations for those shard shunners. Big hangout of theirs. He says, if you're looking to find them, or at least somebody associated with them, that's your best bet for a place to look. But you better watch your backs, because it's not exactly a nice part of town.
I see. I was sort of like, he did mention he visited like a front for the Xanathar's Guild, okay. And I'd say, this little stop off that he made to the Xanathar's Guild. He mentioned bigwigs. How big? Who are they?
And he sort of says, like I said, I'm not quite sure who he was meeting for, but I can definitely assure you that they're part of the Xanathar Guild. Now, when you talk about bigwigs in the Undercity, well, the Xanathar is the biggest of the bunch. He says he's got eyes everywhere, quite literally in some cases. He says, a beholder crime boss runs a thieves guild from underneath the city, Skullport Way. He says, he's got interests all over the place. Rumor has it he's looking to worm his way into the Lord's Council. He says, not quite sure what's got him all riled up recently, this business with the gang war with his Zentarum, but suffice it to say that he's spread out a lot of, well, eye stalks everywhere.
Where did he say he was holed up? Something road or street?
The halflings?
No, the Xanathar. Xanathar?
Well, he's in Skullport, as in like the
Skullport.
city underneath the city, like down. And everybody
Okay.
knows about it. But it's like underneath Waterdeep, but it's not like part of Waterdeep. It's like connected to it. And it's sort of like an
Who's
undercity.
in Skullport under the city?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, Skullport is part of like Undermountain.
God. Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, fair enough. Right. Well, it sounds like we have some work to do. And I'll sort of say it's like, well, I suppose we should pay your remaining fare. I believe we gave him, what was it, 50 gold, he said, initially, and we gave him 30, so gave him the remaining 20 gold.
Mm. Yeah, he will take that. So I guess there was not any like additional sort of danger that he personally encountered along the way. Yeah, and he sort of says, I thank you for your business, and if you're feeling a little bit crazy, he says, I can point you the way that you need if you want to take a little bit of a closer look at this Xanathar hideout that he visited upon.
Couldn't hurt. Where is it?
And just double check here where exactly it is. I have to open another thing. Classic. There, yep. And scroll. Next page. My notes. Yeah, so he says, there's a estate known as the Taras estate. Well, the ex-residents of the Taras family back when they still existed. And he says, in the Castle Ward on Assemble's Lane. He says, it's turned into something of a front for the Xanathar's Guild. I believe it's a meeting place that their clientele visit before the gladiatorial matches that the Beholder likes to put on.
Quite a grim affair.
And he sort of nods.
What was the street?
Elsemble's Lane. I'll type it.
Elsemble's Lane. Okay.
In the Castle Ward.
In the Taras estate.
Yeah. Terasse.
Right, okay. Anything else?
And he sort of shakes his head and he says, nothing else of interest. He did visit a warehouse down in the dock ward at one point, but had some rough-looking folks outside. But I mean, it's the dock ward. There's rough-looking folks outside every building down there. I didn't think much of it. Visited shortly and came back out again. Other than that, rather routine visits.
The dock ward, eh? Like, what do you say? A tavern in the dock ward?
A warehouse.
Okay. Ah, yes. Ah, right. I think I know the place. It says, I suppose, like, if he's got nothing else, then I'd be like, well, thank you very much, Mr. V. It's been very insightful.
And he sort of nods, and he sort of says, if you need me for anything else, you know where to find me. He says,
Of course. Guess I'll wait for him to open up the door so we can leave again.
yeah, he'll say, and that's all. And he kind of begins undoing the latches. Feel free to see yourselves out.
Good day. Make our way out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the door slams shut, and you hear the latches quickly being put back into place.
Yep. So it turned to the other two. It's like, okay, who's up for some rat hunting?
What sort of vile monster would weaponize rats against people?
Well, they are were rats. I don't know how that works, but
No, I meant your neighbor.
oh, yeah, he is pretty strange
He's
and a very
certainly
shady
picture.
fellow. And like Valerie would say, it's like, well, we could go to the little hangout spot and confront them about it. Thinking maybe we should try and see if we can maybe catch one of them. Although it might be hard to figure out which one's the were rat amongst all the other rats.
Yeah. Maybe we should get a
Hmm.
cat.
You have a cat.
Well,
Oh, do we
yeah.
have a- What's his
His
name
name's
again?
Bassic.
Yeah, Bassic. No, Bassic went
Oh.
and got a cat.
Okay.
When the rat, when you first found like a rat.
Yeah, we have a cat. But remember, like lycanthropes are, immune, I believe, to like non-magical damage.
Yeah, plus one cat's not going to be able to fight off an infestation of rats on its own.
Need a few cats.
You get enough rats and they're going to beat the cat.
So, Brad, how do we access the sewers?
Well, I mean, you know of at least one entrance. There are entrances sort of all over the city. It is a complex and labyrinthine network beneath the city, the likes of which only those who dwell in them a long time can really navigate successfully. Um, but there are entrances pretty much down like every kind of side alley. You can find like manholes covering it up. You know of one that you've sort of been in down in the dock ward when you were doing the investigation, looking into Floon and Rainier's kidnapping.
Yeah, that wouldn't be helpful though, especially if the rats are coming to my place.
There's a sewer access, I believe, near your estate. I think it's kind of like around the side, kind of like behind a bit. Let me just double check. I think it's so I think in the back alley, kind of behind the carpenter's place, there's a sewer entrance there. Is like the closest, most notable one.
Right. Hmm. Would there be were rats there now though? What time is it?
I mean, it's like the early in the day.
Yeah. Have we still had rats pop up in Troll Skull Manor? Like, have we noticed there've been more of them lately?
Yeah, from like time to time, Basic's cat will like bring you a dead rat or whatever, like looking for affection. Um, and it's been happening with a little bit more increased frequency, but not enough to like, really look at it and say like, oh, this is an infestation now. Um, like
Yeah, I
once every
suppose.
couple of days or so, like it'll catch one.
I suppose. Yeah, I suppose that I would say it's like, well, we've not had many rats as of late, so it makes me wonder that they haven't quite started yet. But we need to get a lid on this as soon as possible. What do you all think? It says, I think it might be a good idea to maybe map out the sewer underneath the street. That way, if we need to go down there and catch one of them, it might be a bit easier and we might not get so lost.
I mean, it's a
Sounds
plan.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Yes. What would you need to do to make a map, Brad?
Just
Well,
take me. I have keen mind.
you would need
Oh,
yeah, that's true. But if you want a map that other people can follow, you would need like paper, like basically to like draw it out on.
okay. I suppose like I can like draw the path as we're going then, and like I'll have our keen mind wizard able to navigate for us. I guess we'll just need to get like the sewer of the actual like street, and then we should be okay.
Sure. So yeah, you want to like head down and kind
Mhm.
of map out the sewer passages that run underneath
Yep.
Troll Skull Alley and sort of like the nearby
I go I
branches
go
and
home
whatnot.
first and change into my shit clothes.
As if you have a change of clothes.
Listen, we're not completely destitute.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Sure, yeah.
So I change into clothes that I'm willing to let get dirty, and then down we go.
All right. So, you guys then make your way to the sewer access on the other side of Troll Skull Alley. You kind of wait for like a moment where like people aren't kind of watching you just so you don't get weird looks. Like those people that have bought out that inn are going down into the sewer for some reason. So
Oh,
you
I didn't know our neighbors were sewer people.
right? Maybe we don't want to eat at that place. Yeah, so you wait for a gap before heading down there, and you begin to take a look around. So, why don't you roll me an investigation check? And you can either roll them individually or you can help whoever has the highest bonus.
I have
Have
plus
no
8. Who want...
bonus.
Help me, Zach.
I'll help whoever wants it.
I get Zach's help.
Okay, I'll roll myself.
Yeah, I think you two have like the same roll.
No, I have plus 8.
Oh, yeah, y'all both a lot higher than me.
All right. So, I mean, it takes a while, right? There's a lot of branches and paths to follow. And it's not exactly pleasant work necessarily. But you can begin to map out some of the sewer network beneath Troll Skull Alley and sort of the surrounding area. And I think as you're doing this, Valerie, you in particular kind of notice a couple of times as you're making your way through the different branches and kind of drawing the pathways that on the sides of the walls of this sewer, every so often, maybe when it gets to like a major branch or something like that, you see carvings like carved into the stonework of the sewer like channels, and you see basically these very crude like rat face carvings every so often. Not many of them, and they seem to sort of like follow on quite a ways beyond like the initial scope of where you were planning to kind of scout out.
Okay.
They
As-
can you Reginald, can you give me one of your like stone cutting history checks?
Yes, I can. I believe it's just.
Oh my god.
I believe it's just my proficiency bonus.
I think it's expertise, right? I guess
Is it?
doubled.
I don't know. I think.
A dwarf using stone cutting. I never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah, it's expertise on.
So I'm rolling at make a. Okay, I'm considered proficient in history, so I'll just D20 plus 4 then.
But
Okay. With a 6, you are unable to ascertain any more details about the carvings.
Alright. Well, I suppose after we finish mapping out what we came to map, I would suggest maybe we should follow those rat carvings. Says they were put there for a reason, I imagine. I'd be very curious to see where they go.
Yeah, and I would say basically with a 23 investigation, Arya, you have your sort of like keen mind, so you're kind of able to um, kind of create this visual map, right? Like almost like a 3-dimensional sort of thing where you can kind of compare the layout of the sewers to like what's above it, based on your like memory of the streets and whatnot. And you basically can tell between the two of you that the rat carvings seem to be coming from somewhere to the south, like they trail off towards to the south, but they end basically directly underneath Troll Skull Manor.
Yeah, figured as much. But yeah, I was saying maybe we could like follow them to see where they're originating from. Because if this is a pathway, then I would like to see where they're coming from. What do y'all think?
Do you want me to see if these things are magic?
You could do if you, yeah.
It'll take some time.
Do I have it prepared? Do I want to use a spell slot on it?
I don't know. I think we have the time.
I think we got time, yeah.
Okay, I'll take 10 minutes to ritual cast detect magic.
Okay. Yeah, so 10 minutes go by. Does anybody else want to do anything while waiting for the ritual to complete?
I'll just scout around up and down
Okay.
just to make sure nothing comes up on us.
Oh yeah, so you
I'll
spend.
also do it just for funsies. Ritual cast. Let's go.
Yeah, it's a race, so you can get done fastest. All right, yeah, so you cast your ritual, taking 10 minutes basically to sit down and scrawl out these runes, and at the end of it, you take a look around and you do not detect any sources of magic within your vicinity other than the items that your companions are carrying.
Well, these don't seem to be magically attracting rats, at least.
Anyway, if that's the case, then should we still see where this pathway is going to? I would like to see where they're originating from.
Sure.
All right, let's go.
All right. So you begin to attempt to follow the trail of rat carvings. I would like for somebody to please make me a survival check. Whoever is leading, trying to follow these carvings as they come up.
I'd imagine that would be the keen mind person. Do you want the help action?
Yeah. Can you?
Yep. Help action applied. How good's that wisdom? Oh, +3.
All right. So yeah, you begin to follow them, and they're leading off quite a distance. You figure basically with your sort of keen memory, they're traveling sort of like south and east across the city. Obviously, it's not direct, right? There's a lot of the sewer network's kind of like twisting and turning, and going down and back up, and kind of turning here and there. But it's vaguely going sort of in a southerly direction. Though it's even with your keen mind, it's starting to become very easy to become lost in this labyrinthine network of caves. You can always remember where you came from, but it's starting to become hard to kind of piece it all together. Not used to sort of dwelling in an underground situation. But even despite that, you manage to continue like following, and it's very infrequent that you see the marks. They're spaced quite far apart, and like the further you get, the less and less like of them there are. Back in like Trollskull Alley, they were very sort of like constant, as if they were trying to very like accurately like pinpoint a location and lead you there. But now they're kind of becoming more spread out, more difficult to follow. And I think as you're sort of coming across a point where you're beginning to like lose track, like you're kind of like looking around trying to find the next one, you come across this big sort of like open like multiple like causeway, like an intersection basically, where a whole bunch of different like branches are meeting up in like a central sort of like cistern or whatever. And you basically can see, all of you can see that this particular like branch, you're maybe like a mile or so out from the manor at this point. This particular area seems to be practically swarming with rats, like, or not necessarily like visible, but you can see signs of their presence, right? You can see like nests and rat droppings everywhere, and kind of like refuse strewn around from what they've been eating, and it becomes very like obvious that you've happened upon some sort of like rat lair.
Is this what the marks were going to?
Can everybody make a perception check for me if you're sort of arriving at this place?
Perception. Oh, yeah.
I hit it twice. Sorry.
Aria, I think as you're like looking at this room, you can see on the other side just barely, behind some of like the refuse and filth like strewn across the wall, what looks like another one of these like carvings at one of those branches. Seems to continue onwards.
Well, those carvings keep going.
Let's follow it then. Try not to, I don't know, get rabies or something.
Wish I had fireball right now.
Nope.
No fireball for you. Okay.
Yes, I suppose we'll keep following.
All right. You keep following. So you step into this large sort of like central area. You're coming in from like the north, and you can see there are a number of different branches sort of scattered around. Let me just Do a little bit of Shamadish. Sure. And yeah, as you're kind of beginning to make your way, you see basically like there's a branch kind of like across the way, where it seems to like continue on. And as you are making your way across, you see there are basically like smaller sewer pipes that seem to like lead from residences or the likes, converging on this larger channel. And you see crawling out of several of these pipes nearby what appear to be sort of large, veritable swarms of rats. And they begin to quite rapidly converge on your position as you enter in and begin to cross the area.
Oh no.
Oh shit. Gonna have to kill some rats now.
Okay, Arya, Sir Reginald, and Valerie.
How does everyone feel about swarms?
I mean,
I don't have any AoE.
damn.
At least not AoE damage.
And I would like everyone to roll initiative.
I have my carbonated acid flask. That's as much as I've got.
Damn it. I didn't push it.
Getting some of your good rolls back, Zach.
I gotta roll again though to add.
Never mind.
Why is it adding me? I clicked my token like 3 times. There it is,
Yeah,
and I
well,
have
that's your character. It's fine.
15.6.
15.16. Okay. So, Valerie, you are the first to react as you see these rats crawling out of the nearby pipes coming towards you.
Grossness. Alright.
And the whole room is just like basically like littered with like filth and debris. The walkway is quite like slippery and coated with some sort of substance you're quite sure you don't want to know what it is.
Rough terrain, Brad? Is that what you're getting at?
Not necessarily enough to be considered rough terrain.
Alright. Well, these definitely look like swarms, if I've ever seen them. But I can't really get more than okay, yeah, whatever. Suppose I will fling one of my frost vials at this rat pack down here.
All right, go for it.
Hiya! A single cold.
It hits, dealing 1 coin. It's like a stray hit, right? You hit like one of the rats out of the veritable swarm, kind of like freezes solid, but the rest continue to just swarm past it.
Oh no.
Yeah, and it's basically like this is sort of like that. I don't know if you saw that new like Plague Stories trailer where it's just like the wave of rats kind of like crawling over each other. It's kind of what this looks
Ugh.
like. Sir Reginald.
I see there are 2 rat swarms over here.
Mhm.
But I can get to this one. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna go over to this side and block the rats. The 2 swarms coming from this way for now.
Okay.
And then, because I can't get to them, I'm just gonna ready an attack for when they come up to me.
All right.
Ready a
Very
reckless
well.
attack?
Can I ready reckless attack?
No, unfortunately, you can only reckless attack on your turn.
Sadness.
All right. If that is all, then Arya is next.
Right? I would like to drop a grease spell right here.
All right. What is the? It was at 10-foot square. So, where exactly do you want this to be?
The center right here. Just cover the whole walkway.
Okay. Yeah, so you place it kind of there-ish.
Yep.
Tilted. Okay, creature that enters the area when it appears has to make a dex save or fall prone.
I should get a
So,
sword.
as you cast this like grease out on this area, you see like initially some of the rats begin to have trouble. They're sort of like slipping and sliding in, kind of getting stuck. But you notice that as this happens, most of the other rats kind of begin clambering over the rats that are stuck, and your spell does not seem to have any effect on the whole of this swarm, although it still creates difficult terrain. It does not knock them prone, as they are immune to that condition. But it is still a difficult terrain. Is that everything?
Yeah.
All right. The rats go. That's 10 feet to get through their 15, 20, 25. So they come within range of you, Sir Reginald, basically, as they begin to swarm underneath your feet and begin trying to crawl up and like bite at you. So
I'm
you
gonna
can
hit
take
him with
your
the book.
ready to attack. A 24 is a hit
8.
for 8 points of bludgeoning damage, which, of course, being a swarm, they take half. So they take 4 points of bludgeoning damage. And then they are going to make their attack against you. An 18, I believe,
Miss.
just misses.
Yep. I have 20.
Yeah, they are unable to sort of bypass your defenses for the moment. These ones, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, begin swarming through, and kind of end up dashing and kind of swarming at the feet of Arya. They are unable to attack you this round. And then the final swarm is going to... they were hit by the cold, so they have half speed, or minus 10. But they can still dash, and they'll still swarm kind of around Valerie. All right, Valerie, it is your turn. There are swarms of there are rats everywhere. Just rats upon rats upon rats. So many rats. Bad
Many
rats.
Oh no, not that game.
I
gave you that game.
You've been gifted. Bad rats.
Well, they're in melee range, so that I would
Yes.
get disadvantage of my reinforce. So I guess I'll take out my dagger and go to slash them. So item interaction, draw, action attack,
Okay.
slash. I should get like a better melee weapon, I realized as well. I have simple weapon proficiency.
Yeah. All right, a 20 is a hit. Obviously, stabbing at rats isn't entirely effective. You managed to kill a couple, but there are hundreds, so it takes 2 piercing damage. Anything else?
Nope. Wait, no,
Oh.
I can move and it kinda, yes.
You can. I will say that they are currently because their reach is 0, like they're in your space, and if you move out of that, they'll get an opportunity attack.
Never mind then.
All right, so stay put. Then
Yep.
Sir Reginald. Rats.
Bonus action rage. And then I'm gonna reckless attack the swarm of rats that I already hit. Damn rats.
At least you have superiority die now, Zach. One of them.
I know. What should I use? Sweeping attack. When you hit a creature with a melee attack, you expend 1 superiority die to attempt to damage another creature with the same attack. Could sweeping attack them. Yeah.
Good.
Can I disarm the rats?
No.
Martial attack is a crit hit.
That is a crit because of your reckless.
Yeah, I'm sweeping it.
All right.
When I hit a creature with a melee weapon, you know what that does, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, it does it does the superiority dice damage to like another target.
So 17, 19 damage.
Okay, so that one will take the 19. I will say that because it's not part of like the attack, it's like an extra thing. It doesn't double that. Like you don't
Oh,
get
that's fine.
double that. But
D6, right?
yeah, it's a D6.
5.
5.
All right, so that's what 9 and 8 is 17. Did you rage?
Yes, I raged.
Okay, so 19, and then halved to 9. And then the other one, right, takes the superiority dice damage, which in this case is going to be 2. And it doesn't add to the original target, right? That would be
I do not think so.
that would be pretty good. Yes, it only is the extra target. All right, very good. This swarm has now been sort of bloodied, reduced below half of its total volume. Arya.
Guys, help! I'm useless against swarms.
A mind sliver. What is that? We intelligence save. That is a failure.
Hell yeah. D4 reduction on the next save.
6 points of psychic damage. Who the swarm? Alright, then it is their turn. The rats are going to attack. First, against you, Sir Reginald, they have an advantage, but they have half of their HP or less. They crit.
Yeah, they hit. So for 7 damage.
7
half.
halved to 3. Then against Arya, over half HP, no advantage.
I would like to intervene.
Okay.
So D10, I'm gonna try to reduce that
Yeah, so it still hits, but you reduce the damage with yours,
by
right?
7.
Nice.
Okay. So yeah, you fully block that then in that case. And then
Nice.
lastly against Valerie, a 20 for 4 points of damage.
Ouchie, that stings.
As the rats are like biting and tearing through like little gaps in your armor.
Good thing I wore my shit clothes.
Yeah, literally.
It's the same set I wore to the first sewers.
Of course. Valerie.
Yep. Stabby stabby. I should get a mace.
I mean, I have a weapon if you want it. I have, well, Warhammer. I have Warhammers and a War Pick, which I think are both martial.
I think
Those are both martial
yeah.
weapons.
An 11 is a hit for 2 points of damage.
Yay! On to the person doing actual damage.
Your disadvantaged cantrips might actually be the better option here, by the way.
What disadvantage cantrips?
Your frost attack that will do
That'll give 'em-
full damage, and also their AC is not very high. Cough, cough. Anyway, Sir Reginald.
I'm going to try to hit the one again that I've been hitting recklessly for 22.
22 is definitely a hit.
For 7.
So 3
So for
more
3,
points of damage to that one. Chipping away at it.
as you do.
Arya.
Let's keep blowing lines, I guess.
Blow up their heads.
These
Blow up their
rats,
heads.
Their minds are blown.
D4, Brad. Subtract D4.
I don't think I need to subtract a D4 from that one. It's already a -1. Rats are not the smartest of creatures. Yeah, so you're doing this like you're finger on your temple, sort of mind raise, whatever your mind sliver looks like, and rats' heads are just like exploding. But obviously there are quite a few of them, so it's slow work. All right, then it is their turn. Sir Reginald against you. Miss even with the advantage. Against Arya. I believe that misses. No, that is
No.
your AC. Yes.
I'm going to intervene again.
Another D10.
2.
Not quite able to chunk it all away. You take 4 points of damage, Arya. And then lastly, Valerie. That is a miss against you. So then it is your turn.
Alright, fine. Do you want? I just start throwing these things down at my feet. Thanks, Brad.
Hey man, like all you have to do is like not roll a 1 or a 2. Like come on. All right, unfortunately, you managed to miss. Sir Reginald.
I'm Can I take a step back right here without taking an opportunity?
No, because their reach is the space that they're in.
Got it.
You take an opportunity attack just by leaving their space.
Would I still be able to hit them though if I took a step back?
Yeah, you can because you have reach. They don't. So they attack you
All right,
basically as you back
I'll
up.
let them have the attack.
Okay,
It's just normal, I think. And then I'm gonna reckless attack them.
sure.
Just so now I'm in range of both of them, so I can.
I mean,
Crit
that's a hit, man.
for 12, so 6
6
damage.
points of damage. They are still there, although there are quite few rats left. Not many. Right. That is all. Then it is Ario's turn.
All right, let's try something different.
Ho. Ooh.
All
and-
3 at the
and
one on my
missile.
feet.
All right, go for it. 3. So it deals 8, 9, 10, 11 points of damage. Yeah, so you basically like you shoot out these missiles and it kind of like scatters around, like piercing through multiple rats with each missile. Right? You just like they swirl almost. I almost imagine it's kind of like throwing up and then just kind of like swirling around you like a tornado, just tearing through rats. You're not quite able to dispatch all of them, but you do manage to dispatch quite a few of them with that. They are now definitely below half. All right, so then it is the swarm's turns. This one is going to go right back up into your face, Sir Reginald, and try to get at you.
Okay.
You take 2 points of damage. The one on Arya. Would you like to reduce that damage, Sir Reginald? You're technically within range of the ones with Valerie as well, because they're like on her space.
Yeah, but Valerie's looks like she's taking a little bit less of a beating than Arya.
Yeah, she's only been.
Save Arya.
I mean, they both only been bitten like once, but yeah.
I'll reduce it to 0.
Okay. And then lastly, the one on Valerie. That does not hit.
Woo!
And then it is your turn, Valerie.
Alright, 3 or above. Let's
Hold
go.
on. I'm giving you a 6. I'm giving you a 6.
Okay.
So what are your modifiers? Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's more than +4, right?
Yeah, my modifier is +6
All right, you hit.
for 4 damage.
All right, they take the full 4 damage, and they are slewed.
Yes.
So Reginald.
I'm going to try to attack the same one I've been attacking again, recklessly.
Go for it. God, dude.
Crit. For 17, so for a total of 8.
Barbarians.
You crush the one rat with the other rat that was left, and just crush both of the remaining rats.
Good. 1 down, I yell.
Arya. Intelligence save. Minus a d4. They
Damn it.
still succeed,
Oh
unfortunately.
my god!
It only took a natural 20.
And a 1.
And a 1, yeah, on the d4. Well, a 1 or a 2. Alright, the swarm of rats. There's still one on Arya. Half HP or less. It's going to hit. So Reginald, you can opt to reduce it if you would like. Or wait.
I'll reduce.
Alright, roll. Okay, you negate that one. And then against Valerie, this one's still above half HP.
Yeah.
I believe 16 is exactly your armor class.
Yes,
So you'll
it
take
is.
8 piercing damage from these rodents.
Ouchie, that does sting.
This time they begin like crawling up like your legs, like underneath your greaves, and like biting at your legs.
Nice.
Valerie.
Throwing them at my feet.
Come on, dude. You're starting to roll like me, man. Oh, Sir Reginald.
Which one of these two have taken damage?
Well, this one has been like pretty badly wounded by the mind blasts as well as the magic missiles from last
Let's
time.
continue on that one then. Recklessly attacking it. I think I missed.
An 11 is a hit.
Oh. 13 damage so far.
That is more than enough to swing your book and sort of slam the remaining rats into the sewage water and kind of crush them.
Hate rats.
Arya. Mind powers.
My God. Do I need to use my other 6?
Oh,
Jesus.
What would you like to do, Arya?
oh my god. It's oh god.
These are the smartest damn rats I've ever seen.
These are some really smart rats. Actually, you're starting to get some suspicions. All right, this swarm still alive is going to go at Valerie. That is a miss. Good thing.
Oh.
It
Oh.
is your turn.
Yes. Come on, just give me above a 3 for fuck's sake. There we go.
You
For
hit
2 damage, Brad.
2 damage. They are still not below half HP.
Sir Reginald, save your
Sir Reginald.
stupid friend.
I
Valerie
will-
seems to be having some problems.
Recklessly attack the rats that are on her.
That's a hit.
Sorry. 9, 10, 11.
Alright, 5. They are now below half HP.
Now they have advantage. Fuck yeah.
Arya. Continuing the mind blasts.
Thank you.
There's the other side of the spectrum.
Yep.
6 psychic damage. Yeah, most of the rat's brains explode, leaving very few remaining. But remaining they are, and so they shall continue their efforts to harry Valerie by attacking.
Reginald, save me.
And miss anyways. You do not
Thanks,
need his,
Reginald.
his saving. Valerie,
You got this. Damn it.
Oh.
if only. So at 13 for 2 points of cold damage, you throw this last vial desperately at your feet, and it explodes outwards, catching the remaining rats in the blast and slaying them, flash freezing their small corpses.
Easy.
Well,
That
Uh,
was unpleasant.
Can you
very
all
much so.
make a perception check for me as you finish off the last of these rats that are swarming around you?
Do we see
Oh,
the master rat lurking in the shadows?
Give me a second. Fuck, I need to save something. Ah! Save! Alright. Close tab.
What do you say?
Roll 20. Perception.
What are you doing? That's performance.
go. Shit! It's the
The
same
other-
roll. They're both
the
plus
other
2. They're both
PDR.
plus 2.
Okay. Yeah, so I think Arya and Valerie, as you're like looking around after these rats have been defeated, you see there are like more, like there are a lot more rats kind of like around here. But as you like beat these swarms, they kind of like back into the pipes where they kind of came from. But I think the both of you notice that kind of like down south, Arya, where you saw like that marker like the first time as you entered into the room, where the marks seem to continue. There is like a large rat that you notice kind of scurrying out down the main passageway rather quickly.
Like suspiciously large rat.
Yeah, as in like a rat of unusual size.
Ah.
Did I see that as well? Did
like
you
a
say?
big rat. Yeah, you both see that. But you lose sight of it rather quickly. Like it goes into the. You basically catch it right as you're like finishing off these swarms, and it seems to already be on the run.
Did you see that?
Did
Hey, fuck
See what?
face.
I say as I stomp more rats.
There's a suspicious looking rat this way. Out near the tunnel we were going to continue onwards to.
Are we going to follow?
Hmm.
is
mean-
that wise?
I'm fine, but you two look a rather nibbled on.
Is there a ladder going up to the street near you, Brad?
I think you probably like passed one recently, so you could probably like head back up. You have no idea where you're going to emerge.
I was saying it's like we could chance it, head back up top, and see if we can take a breather quickly before we carry on.
Can I estimate where we'll come out?
Yeah, let me just double check here. So you guys started.
We just like pop up into the middle of like a bathhouse or something. The water just come on. There's a bunch of naked guys. Like what the fuck?
Why would they have a sewer entrance there?
It's not a very good bathhouse.
Yeah, so by your estimates of kind of whereabouts in the city you're going to pop up, probably within like a block or two of the market. You're not entirely sure, but somewhere around there.
I think we're pretty close to the market.
Hopefully it comes up in an alleyway so no one sees us. Worth a shot, or we could just take a breather down here with the rats.
I could not rest near rats.
Sounds good. Me neither. All right. I guess we'll just
Rats.
chant. I guess we'll just like try and go up the ladder. Like I suppose like whoever goes first, like crack it open, take a peek, see where it is.
Okay. Can I get somebody to roll me a d8?
No, I lost.
All right. So yeah, you come up you double back a little bit to the last sort of ladder that you saw leading out, and yeah, you emerge in an alleyway near-ish the markets.
Wonderful. Okay. Perfect. Let's take a breather. Man, we're just gonna be like at the side of the street. People are gonna think we're beggars.
You are quite thankful for the fresh air that you are now experiencing. The aroma of the sewer is still sort of clinging to your outfits. A single rat scurries out from underneath your pants leg that had gotten
I blow it up.
All right. Yeah. So you guys sit down and begin to take a short rest. Yeah, and you are able to do so.
Perfect.
Freely.
Brad, is there like a weapon store? I just buy mace quickly while we're here, like just next to the manhole.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to head over to the markets, I'm sure you can find a weapon shop.
Fuck it, I'm
It
gonna
wouldn't be
spend
too far
5
away.
gold. I'm gonna spend the 5 gold and just get a fucking mace. Because I keep
Alright.
having. Wait, hang on, wait, hang on. I might not do that. Nope. Because the mace uses strength, and I don't have a strength
is
mod, but I do have a
correct.
dex mod.
You would
Hang
probably
on.
be looking for a dagger. I think that's the only.
Yeah, but dagger is literally the best option for me.
I
Actually,
think
what the hell is
that's
this?
the only finesse simple weapon.
What the hell?
Turns
Okay,
out-
whatever. I'll just keep the fucking dagger.
All right.
I want 500 gold.
Yeah, so you guys are free to rest and spend any hit dice that you would like, and
Yep.
at the end of the short rest.
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh.
I'm not gonna spend anything.
Brad, I completely forgot. During like the couple days
Oh.
that we were sitting around doing nothing, could I have returned that book on Hadar to the Order of the Gauntlet?
Sure.
along with a little apology note being like, sorry, it tried to kill us, but I found a replacement for you.
I don't think they They particularly cared if it had been destroyed, given its contents, but they are thankful for you for returning the real copy to them, that it might be properly disposed of.
Wonderful.
A good old-fashioned book burning.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. So you guys finish the short rest, and from there, where
Back
would
to
you
Schitt's Creek.
like to go? Okay. So you return to the sewers.
Yes, let's go, everyone. I believe.
All
You have
right.
your spell slots back, Pog. We can do
We
this.
must.
Listen, this is all to deal with the shard shimmers.
So
Right.
as you make your way out once more into the sewers, um, begin to pick up the trail once more. I would like another survival check as you begin to follow the increasingly difficult trail.
I would give the help action.
All right. So Arya, quick to pick up on the trail and kind of where it leads. You begin once more, kind of heading vaguely south again. There's a lot of kind of like, going this way and that way, and the sewers are kind of just they're dug in such a way like whatever was convenient, right? So it's not a straight shot. But you begin mostly in a southerly direction. Obviously, whatever it was that you saw has long since vacated the area, seeing as you have taken an hour to rest. But I think you probably like pick up signs every so often of like um, passage or activity through the sewers. Like you notice like footprints and whatnot in the sludge, kind of like a claw marks on the walls every so often. Those carvings, obviously. Um, and the frequency of this kind of begins to pick up as you get further and further south. And by this time, you've been down in the sewers for a good like few hours since you originally left, kind of winding your way through. At this point, Arya, you figure you're probably like
Mm.
pretty close to the outlets, like near the dockward, kind of near the base of the dockward where it enters out into the harbor. And eventually you notice basically that the markings kind of stop near a ladder that goes up.
This it?
Well, we are roughly in the dock ward.
Okay. Climb!
All right, so Valerie taking the point, climbing up out of the area, you end up coming up in an alleyway in the dock ward. However, unlike the alleyways elsewhere in the city, there are people here like notice you like climbing up out of the area, and like they very quickly kind of like begin to leave basically the area when they see you, kind of like pointing at you like crazy people climbing
Nah,
around
they live
out
they
of
live in
the
the
out of the
dock board.
sewers.
They're like, oh shit, these guys came out the sewer. Some shit's going
Some
down.
shit's
Let's
going
bail.
down. Um, yeah, and you take like a look around, and you're kind of like in some like back alley, basically, um, in amidst an area where there are a number of kind of like warehouses, in the area.
Wait a fucking minute. Give me 2 seconds here.
Mm.
Got the fucker. Warehouses, dock ward. Oh my fucking god. Why is it here? No,
What's
they
so
have a place
special
down.
about here?
Well, hang on. Well, they also have the shard fucks probably. It might also they have a place down dock wards. Could be that place on Spices Street. All right, are we on Spices Street?
No, Spices Street
Where?
is down here.
Spices. Where?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's actually quite a distance away.
Mm-hmm.
Why did it bring us up here? Okay. Alright, so Emic Froon's warehouse. Is that near here?
Um, Yeah, you figure it's probably like near here. You've come up in kind of like the warehouse district, quote unquote. So there are a lot of warehouses nearby. You're not entirely sure like which one is his or not. It would take some searching around to like find it properly. Because I don't think you were ever given like a specific address. You were just told like he has a warehouse in the dock ward.
Be right back.
And
Well,
they're all.
there was that broadsheet, wasn't there? Would that have the address listed on it?
I don't think it would because it was like pertaining to like a criminal investigation. Like.
Okay. Fair enough then. I suppose like as we like get up Valerie, it's like I didn't quite expect it to take us here. Odd. Alright, Brad, I look around. Any suspicious rats?
I mean, you're in the dock ward. There's rats everywhere.
Any suspiciously big rats though?
And none of them seem to be extraordinarily outsized or strange in behavior. Most of them seem to sort of be like taking note of you and then like fleeing like real rats would at seeing like such a large creature.
Are there any like tracks? Like I know, like because I saw that rat scamper away. A suspicious rat, Brad. Does it look like anyone else came out the sewer and like waltzed away recently?
Make a perception check.
Who wants to help me? I'll say Zach helps me. He's AFK. I get Zach's help, Brad. 12. Fuck.
You look around, Valerie, and you do not see any signs of tracks along the area. It seems as though there are there's actually like quite a few like sets of like footprints kind of scattered around in this muddy back alley. And it's very hard to narrow down what's fresh and what's not. You're not exactly like a master of these sorts of things, you know.
Aria, I
All
don't
looks the
suppose
same
you'd
to
be.
you.
Aria, we saw that suspicious rat come this way. It's like maybe you should look around and see if anyone made it out the sewer like we did not long ago. I can't see anything myself.
Okay.
Help action.
Well, you already made the attempt, so you can't also then help.
Lame, lame.
Yeah, so like just a quick look around, you see similarly there's just too many different like sets of boot prints in the mud to like figure out which ones are like suspicious or which ones are fresh and where they went. They're just kind of all over. Like people are using this alley as a shortcut and just milling about here.
But
Welcome back. We failed our perception check, Zach. You helped
did we?
me.
Did
It's still
I take it? Oh, I helped you and we still failed.
Yeah. I was looking to see if anyone else had came out this way recently, but it doesn't look like it. Does it look like there was anyone like keeping watch? You know, a
I mean,
lookout or anything
there
like
was like a couple of people like when you came up who like took note, but then like quickly kind of left. Like I said, they kind of see you coming out of the sewers and they just don't want any part of that, so they like quickly went along their way.
Which way did they go?
They kind of split up different ways, right? They were like different ends of the alley, so you know, some went that way, some went like that way, that way. They kind of just
let's go.
spread out.
Let's go track someone down.
Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm gonna. I'd say like, all right. Maybe someone saw something. We should go and try and ask one of them.
All right. So it sounds to me then you're going to like go to some of the locals and ask around, see if they saw
Yeah.
anything. Make a charisma investigation check.
Charisma investigations. That's 4 plus charisma, so D20 plus 6. Lame.
14. Ain't bad. So I think you kind of begin like asking around, and you very quickly like get the feeling that like people around here aren't necessarily amicable to like this kind of line of questioning. It usually leads to like bad things for them or other people. So I think you find people who like quite obviously are like concealing something from you. But they might need a little bit more to grease the wheels, as it were, before they would kind of be willing to like take the risk upon themselves.
See. Like, how much grease we talking here?
I mean, you'd have to make the offer.
5 gold.
All right. Yeah, so you find somebody who is kind of like situated nearby, like a beggar or something who is just kind of who's situated nearby like the exit of this alleyway, like the main exit. And you toss these coins his way when he kind of lets on that he might know something. And he sort of like nods and he says, I see some suspicious folks climbing up out of that alleyway from time to time. What didn't walk in? You catch my drift? They usually head further into the warehouses. Never really followed them, but they took a right on the first street.
Alright. No, and it's like, thanks, old man. And I'll like turn to the rest. It's like, let's fucking go. Alright, so yeah, down the street first, right. Warehouses, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Yeah, so you get that information, and following that, as you begin to like sort of follow his like vague directions, you kind of enter into like the big collection of warehouses. You make a right kind of down the first street. You see there's like rows, right? Like rows of warehouses that are constructed here. Very similar in sort of like appearance and styling to the ones you emerged from during your like first investigation, right? Elsewhere, on Candle Lane. These sort of just like clustered warehouses with like small yards in front of them. And can you make an investigation check with advantage, as you have some guidance on the matter?
Ah! It's still 16, I guess, but fuck, man.
So it takes a while. As you're sort of like looking over all the warehouses, they all look the same to you. A lot of them are run down, graffitied, rusted gateways. Like, they just look like shitty warehouses in this shitty dock district. And you can't really tell heads or tails. But after a while of kind of staking around, I think you notice that one of the warehouses, kind of the yard outside, seems to have a rather outsized population of rodents kind of clustered in the main yard.
I turn to the rest and it's like, I think we found a place. Now, Brad.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
The guard don't patrol the dock ward a whole lot, do they?
They patrol it like less than other districts for sure. I mean, they still patrol,
Yeah,
but
because it's crimey and nasty. Right. Now, this warehouse, does it look like it's used, or does it kind of look like it's dilapidated and ruined?
like most of the warehouses, it's hard to tell without actually like looking inside because it's just graffiti all over the walls. Like kind of like the roofs are like kind of rotting away, caved in a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking if the guard come along and it's like, hey, you're trespassing. I'm sorry, I didn't know it was I thought it was just a ruined building. I just wanted to have a look, curiosity and all that. All right, I got my bullshit down. I sort of turn around and it's like, should we have a little peek inside?
Suppose.
Nice. Let's go. So Reginald can take the front.
At least they're not were spiders.
Oh no. Were spiders. Were phase spiders.
Oh,
shit,
no.
Dude.
Yeah, I'll take the lead.
Okay. Yeah, so layout wise, it does seem to be very similar to the warehouse you originally tracked down Floon to, right? It's got this sort of like double gate, sliding double gate on the outside of this like iron fence. There's like a little yard and then like a main kind of garage door with a side door. Walking up to the main gate, it does not appear to be locked in any fashion, so it sort of slides open easily, and you can kind of enter in to the sort of main front yard, and you can see basically there's like this big boarded up window, and what appears to be like a large garage door, and the lights. It's a very similar looking scene.
Where are we? Oh, there we are. There we are. So I just didn't realize how big the map was.
So
Yes, a lot of these warehouses I feel are built quite uniformly.
It's weird how that works.
Yeah. Alright, so garage door, boarded up window, eh?
Mm-hmm.
It's a door.
you
Where
want
did you say there's like a lot of rats around? Are we talking
Yeah.
swarms?
There's not quite as many as would constitute like a swarm, but there are quite a few sort of like in the corners. But as you like as the gate squeals heavily as it opens and you kind of enter in, they kind of get scared off into their holes and like retreat into the warehouse. It seems through the holes in the wall that they've chewed.
Alright. Should we check the front door, Sir Reginald?
do we knock? As I ask as I walk up to it.
See if it's open. If they
I
are who we think they are, I don't think they'd. I don't think knocking would be a good idea.
I open the door.
As you go to open the door, it does appear to be locked.
It's locked.
Curses. I check under the doormat.
There is no doormat.
Any fake
Roll me.
procs, Brad?
Yeah, there's a big sign that says that points to the ground. It says key hidden here.
You want to use your newfound pick lock tools?
Yes, I do have those now.
You did spend money on those.
Good idea. Let me give it a shot. As I'm doing it, you sort of hear a mumble to herself. It's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Guardsman. I just wanted to explore it. Okay.
I just wanted to
So-
force entry into this building and explore it. It's just you
It
understand.
looks abandoned. Alright, so thieves' tools. Is this dexterity or intelligence?
It is dexterity for picking locks.
Bullshit.
A 15 is sufficient to unlock the lock to this door. It is rudimentary.
Alright. I unlock it, step back after you.
Step back in, and I proceed to open the door and
Okay.
step inside.
As you open the door, and
How many ready to arrow attacks do I take?
None. But as you open the door and step inside, I think you hear like a basically like a shout of like surprise, essentially. Like they weren't expecting somebody to just like brazenly strut through the door, as this figure kind of like that was carrying a crate like drops the crate and like looks at you.
Raise my hand, was like, hello?
And you see inside what
Oh, these
appears to be
motherfuckers.
this sort of gray-skinned, white-bearded dwarf, armored, like transporting a crate of some sort, is dropped it, and sort of it's like pointing at you, and you hear it shouting like "Young sword, no you can do it!" And this just strange, like, undercommon. I don't know if any of you speak undercommon.
Undercommon? What? No.
And yeah, so roll initiative basically as this Dwergar like notices your arrival.
You step in. Hello? Just get attacked.
Fucking Durgar. Do I know what a Durgar is?
Oh
Shit.
yeah.
And I know that it has to die.
I mean, as like yeah, like you just feel this
Listen.
like deep-seated
This ancestral rage, some would
ancestral
call it.
rage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just latent racism.
Only a little bit of racism. That makes it okay, right, Brad?
Totally, yeah. Uh-huh. All right. So Arya, you can't quite see necessarily what's going on, but you can hear basically like the commotion, and like Sir Reginald is like readying his weapons, like obviously he's gotten himself into something. Something's about to go down.
I guess I'll just hold Mindsliver till someone
Alright.
is hostile against us.
Sure thing.
I don't know why I'm here.
The Dwergar.
Just want to have a look. Just want to have a look around, but this Dwergar's like, nah, bruh.
You hear shouts basically of exclamation again in Undercommon throughout the building as the alarm is sounded. And
Right an alarm with my book to their face.
you see this Dwergar magically grows in size.
Can anyone make me big?
Can't make you big. I'm 2nd level.
And then you
God
see
damn it.
over some of the crates, you see a second one, sort of also large and sort of stepping over the crates, kind of
Let me just
moving up.
play the Attack on Titan theme.
The Attack on Titan theme. Okay.
Or Sheldrake.
He's not with you.
Yeah, maybe you should actually help and do something.
He's too preoccupied organizing the
Shit, we should have brought Olimar.
renovations.
Yeah, he could have been taken hostage again. I'm gonna run up,
Olimar's been benched because he got taken hostage.
as you do, because the girls are gonna be right in behind me. What the fuck is that thing down there? What is that tiny thing?
What tiny thing?
Oh, it's fucking the 5 initiative count.
This
Damn it, one of those is here.
Hell.
I'm going to attack the bottom one. I'm going to rage, and I'm going to reckless.
All right. 24 is a hit.
11.
11 points of damage.
As I book it. And do I get my things back at a long rest or a short rest? It's a long rest, ain't it? Martial technique.
Yeah, your book is a long rest. I might change that later, but for now it's a long rest. I think that's probably
That's my turn.
gonna be good.
I'm gonna yell behind me. I was like, "Get in here! We got trouble."
Okay, this is not a concentration, so no need for that. You hit it. You're 11 points of damage. And that was reckless.
Yes.
All right.
I am recklessly attacking. So
Valerie.
I don't really see what's going on. I step in. Oh god. I step in a bit more to give Arya some room.
Yeah, we've seen these things before back when we were
Yeah,
in
we
the
have.
sewer.
Which one was booked? Which one do I see Sir Reginald reeling from after being booked?
The bottom one.
The bottom one, eh? That one.
Mhm.
Actually, hang on. I went. That is, they are in a line there. Is this box like high, or is it like
it's like a
low?
stack of boxes. Like they're varying heights, right? Like it's climbable, right? You could like mount on top of it, climb it.
So could I just like step up onto here so I can get this avenue of fire?
Yeah, you'd be able to do that relatively easily.
All right. I go over here. I reach into my bag. I give it a shake, a really vigorous shake. All right, so it's a 30-foot line. Yeah, that's enough to hit both of them. Cast at 1st level.
All right. This is poison spells. All right. They are going to make their dexterity saves. They do so at advantage due to their Dwergar resilience.
The bullshit.
So we'll do the top one.
Fail.
Succeeds.
Fuck.
The bottom one also succeeds.
I hate you all. I hate this. I hate the spell.
Is that all?
Yes.
All right. The gazer.
Arya, save us.
See this sort of like strange little sort of like multi-eyed creature emerge over like the top of the crates here. Looking around, it's sort of 4 little stubby eye stalks sort of shifting around the room. And let me see here. I'm going to roll 2d4s.
Hit me with your beams.
All right. So you see this sort of like bluish ray shoots out from one of the eyes towards Sir Reginald. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
I'll make it with advantage because of the trap thing.
Mm-hmm.
I do. What is it called? Danger sense.
Danger sense, yeah. That's just
Yes.
basically all dex saves, as long as you can see what's the thing.
17.
17 is a success, so you manage to duck out of the way of this beam, and it slams into the ground, creating a patch of ice. And then the other ray, you see this sort of, kind of like almost this sort of like pulsing like black and white ray that shoots out with like little stars in it, and it streaks towards Valerie. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
A wisdom saving throw, eh?
Mhm.
Let's see here. Sure, it's not an intelligence saving throw, Brad?
I'm entirely sure that it is a wisdom saving throw.
Shit.
A
Am I
10,
dominated?
no. So a 10 is a failure. You are struck by the dazing ray. You are charmed until the start of the gazer's next turn. And while charmed, your speed is halved and you have disadvantage on attack rolls.
Poggers.
And obviously, as part of charmed, you cannot attack the creature that you are charmed by, but you can attack other creatures just fine.
Nice.
And that's its turn. Arya.
Alright, how much do you value our friendships compared to your life?
What the hell's going on in here?
Dwarger. I have like a little question mark above my head cause, as a stats condition.
Let's
Dazed and reeling, about to break.
this one.
Get out of here, darkest dungeon announcer.
Never. Alright, you are casting a spell.
I'll give it a 6.
Alright. A 6 plus a 0. It's a fail. So it
two
is
goddamn
going to
6s.
begin laughing hysterically. It's not concentrating on effect, but it does fall prone and begin laughing hysterically, incapacitated by this sudden, really funny thing that you definitely just said as you cast the spell, right? Totally.
Absolutely.
100%. All right. Is that all?
Yeah.
Any leftover movement? All right, cool. So their turn. This guy, he is just laughing. He's having a great time. He's going to make a save at the end of his turn with advantage. He succeeds. That wastes his turn, basically. And obviously he's still prone. The other one is going to strike at Sir Reginald with advantage, using its enlarged war pick. Missing.
Miss.
I don't think it gets double. Nope, yep, just one attack. Alright, then Sir Reginald, you hear footsteps, like rushed footsteps, kind of from like coming around from like behind you. And as you look back, you are suddenly taken sort of by surprise as there's like this shimmer in the air, and suddenly two more of these creatures sort of like appear out of invisibility, attacking you.
I see. It's an even fight now.
Who's ready to run?
Both of them hitting you for a total of 5 and 1.
5 and 1, so 6.
And again, they're shouting like doing that, and they're like undercommon sort of gibberish.
Fucking creatures, get ready to die. I'm gonna attack the one that's on the ground.
All
Well,
right.
I don't think it really matters which one I attack.
Well, if you attack the one on the
it
ground,
just-
you don't have to reckless because you already have advantage.
Good point. I'll do that. There's a
Welcome to that.
17 hit.
17 is a hit.
9.
9 damage, not quite enough
9.
to finish it off. 9.
9.
No, this is not critical roll. Right, is that all?
I can't do anything else.
All right, Valerie.
To run or not to run? I will try it again. Because I don't have disadvantage on them doing a save. They
But
just have
they have
advantage on doing the save. Hey, they could fail.
They could fail. It's true. I mean, they've got a pretty good chance of failing. They don't really have a great bonus. So deck save from the both of them. That one
Yes!
fails. That one
No!
just barely succeeds. So you get the closer one, which is the one that's on the ground. So he is covered in acid. That does not do any damage immediately. It does damage at the start of its turn. All right.
Could these boxes grant like cover if I were to get down?
Yeah, if you like dropped down and kind of like purposely ducked behind them, you would be able to get cover. Yeah.
I'll do so.
All right. The gazer kind of swoops around. 2d4. Reroll one of those. Okay. So, Sir Reginald, out of the corner of your eye, again, you see this sort of glowing blue ray strikes toward you. Go ahead and make a dex save.
And
10, unfortunately, is not
Failed.
enough.
what I take?
You take 7 points of cold damage. You were struck by this frost ray. And then you see this sort of like purplish ray at the end of which appears to be like this massive hand strikes out towards you, Arya, and tries to like grasp around you. I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Oh, I'm great at these.
All right. 13. You actually succeed. And
Nice.
are not like sort of pushed backwards up against the wall by this like sudden telekinetic force. That is its turn, and then it is your turn, Arya.
Well, good luck, Sir Reginald.
Oh God.
Centered on him.
All right, I guess I'm not. Do I have to make the save? I do have to make the save.
You
Is that
do have
only
to
if I
make a
move?
save, yeah.
Yeah, I believe in you.
19.
You have advantage?
Yeah. Danger sense.
Oh, nice.
So you have to cover at least half of a square to affect it. So you can affect 3 of them if you put it here.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. All right, yeah. So Reginald, you are able to maintain your footing easily enough. The other 3 Dwergar.
Do we get advantage because it's magical
They
grease?
do. It is a spell, so they do have advantage.
Goddamn fucking magic resistance
Fail,
bullshit.
Success, fail.
Yes, good old magic resistant bullshit.
So the 2 normal-sized ones fall to the ground, but the big one, by virtue of its prodigious size, manages to stay on its feet. Only half affected by the grease. All right, any movement or anything like that? I will take that as a no. Dwergar's turn.
2d4 damage, motherfucker.
6. Actually, you hear this horrific screaming as the acid burns away at the flesh of this Dwergar, and it kicks and screams for a while before just laying still on the ground.
That killed? Oh, we got this, boys. We got this. It's fucking
3
massive.
more. I'm almost at a half HP.
Ah, you're fine.
This is the motherfucker that's gonna be the problem.
Actually, this doesn't. Well, it's still big. Still big for a while.
He's still big for a while.
Yeah. These two are going to stand up half of their movement. And they are going to they're going to enlarge. And then they're going to step back. So you may make an opportunity attack against one of them, Sir Reginald.
Gladly. The one that went below.
Okay. An 8, unfortunately, does not hit. Then the other one is going to take a swing at you.
Miss.
Miss.
Holy shit.
And then he is similarly going to step back out of the grease. Sir Reginald.
I have to make a save to move
It's
out
at
the
the
grease,
end
right?
of your turn.
No, if you end your turn there, you do.
Ah, got it. I'm gonna move here, and I want to try to hit the fucking green ball.
Okay.
I'm gonna recklessly attack it.
Go for it. Yeah, was not thinking to float high enough off the ground to not be hit.
4, 8, 9, 10.
10 is not quite enough to finish this creature off, though it does send it dazed, like reeling, and basically like it bounces off the wall, and now its eyes are all comically sort of like spinning around in different directions, like slightly dazed by the hit.
And then that's my turn.
All right, Valerie.
I will move up here so I can see the eyeball. Alright, I'm thinking. Alright, I can either Cure Wounds Sir Reginald or maybe try and hit the eyeball and finish it off. I will see if I can hit the eyeball. Come on! 18.
An 18
Six
is
cold.
a hit, and as your vial splashes out, unleashing the sort of what is it, whatever, the endothermic, is that the one that makes things cold? The chemical reaction goes off and freezes this one solid, and it
My
shatters
specially
as it falls to the
designed
ground.
my specially designed endothermic compound.
Well,
It's
and
Excellent.
endothermic means it
Exo,
absorbs heat.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would be right, because
Yeah.
then it would be absorbing heat from the surrounding and thus making everything
Yeah.
around it cold.
Yes.
So
It's patented, Brad, by the way.
patented.
I
Yeah.
patented it. Yeah.
So yeah,
Did it years ago.
freezes solid and shatters as it falls to the ground.
Yep.
Into several sort of like little chunks.
So if I stepped up into these squares, I'd have to do a save.
If you end your turn there.
No, when you
Right.
first enter.
Oh yeah, if you enter it as well, yes.
Because I did that.
So if you walk up and then end your turn there, you'd have to save twice.
Guess I'm not getting adjacent to Sir Reginald, so I will instead use my remaining movement to move down here. That's my
Okay.
turn.
This gazer has been defeated. Arya.
He's in your face.
I would like to disengage, please.
Okay.
And I will run through the door that seems to be smaller than they are.
Okay. Their
Actually-
turn.
One more. There we go.
This one. Here. There. Shift over. This one. Yeah. Just sort of knocking all these boxes aside as it comes running up.
Thump, 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 thump,
Thump,
thump,
thump,
thump.
thump, thump, thump. All right.
thump.
So two of them attack Sir Reginald.
Do it. Y'all won't.
Did you? No, you didn't reckless. 'cause
I
you
did
attacked the
reckless.
prone.
Yes, I reckless.
Oh yeah,
the,
you reckless the
the,
thing.
Reckless.
the ugly thing.
So they will attack with advantage.
Miss.
Miss. And a miss.
Miss.
And then the other one is going to attack Valerie.
Oh no. That's a hit.
That will hit
And
you
that's
for
pain.
11 piercing damage. As
That's
this
pain.
massive like war pick just like
Should
tears
get out
into
the
you.
door, mister.
You have to fight them all.
Sir Reginald.
This
I'm
one's
gonna
hurt.
attack the one below us.
Okay.
Reckless martial attack book thing. For 22.
That's a hit.
10.
10 points of damage. Not bad. Anything else?
I have nothing else I can feasibly do.
Okay. Valerie.
Disengage. I'll do it like this, so I'm not blocking the door.
Okay.
Hey.
Arya.
I will peek through the door and blow his mind.
I did not mean to blow your mind. Alright. 1 second. Just double checking on something. Okay. Let me see here. An intelligence saving throw, you say?
How smart are they?
Normal smart.
Not very smart then.
Right, and that's at the one just inside the door?
The one
Oh, the
can I
far
see
one?
that one?
I mean, yeah, you would be able to see that one, yeah.
Okay, then yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yeah, you could
takes
just do that,
4
yeah.
points of psychic damage.
Well, I'm trying to do it without getting in its range. I'm gonna step back.
Yeah, if you kind of like, sidestep to the door, you can like see through and kind of, yeah. Instead of just blindly like walking up to the door and being like, oh shit.
Give him a minor headache and then step back.
Okay. The Dwergar. These two are going to continue. Actually, they're just all gonna pile on.
I believe in you, Sir Reginald.
As everyone's gone but me.
one hit for 5.
I mean, you could have disengaged and run through the door too.
Miss.
That's a miss. And that's a hit
That's
for
a
5.
miss. I have 20.
Oh, you have 20, but your token
I've-
says 19.
19, but I believe unless she took it away, she put the
Oh, right,
+1
the
thing on me.
+1 armor.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That is a miss.
So I'm a little hurt, guys. Oh, what are we doing?
Well, that's up to you because it's your turn.
We've entered like peaking ranged combat mode, so it's up to you, I guess. I mean, the one below you still kind of hurt.
And they're large. I can step through them, right?
No, 2 sizes you have to be to go through another creature. They are only 1 size larger than you.
Would you rather die standing or live kneeling, Zach?
Well, I think it's impossible for me to get away and out.
Gotta fight your way. Gotta kill the one below you so you can actually get out.
Yeah, I'm gonna attack the one below me.
All right, go for it.
Recklessly, of course. So close to a
Hit.
crit. For
Look
7
close.
damage.
7.
Still up, ain't it?
He is still up.
Alright, yep.
Valerie.
5
You can
feet.
hear the sounds of combat on the other side of the door.
Pink.
You are within melee, so you have disadvantage from that position.
Oh?
Yeah, because you're in
Well
melee
then.
of this guy.
Oh. Well then, I do it at disadvantage.
Yeah, so an 11 will not hit.
I guess then I cannot move, otherwise I will provoke an opportunity attack,
I will
right?
say that due to like its size and like the door, if you step away, it will get an opportunity attack, but you will have basically 3/4 cover from it.
Okay.
So that would be a +5 to your AC.
Alright. Then I'll just... Whoop.
Okay. It will take the opportunity attack. And miss.
Get the hell out of here.
It's
For
picked.
once, the opportunity attack didn't crit on me.
Arya.
We're doing this now.
Okay. Oh, that's needed. I think I can see this one.
Yeah, you can see that one. He's been undamaged so far.
All right. We'll do this one.
Okay.
Again.
Yeah, that one's already taken its reaction, so. All right. Intelligence. Well, minus D4 doesn't really matter because it'll still. That's a 15 at least, so. Fortunately, it succeeds this time. But you can step away freely.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Sir Reginald.
Moment of truth. Roll them. See if I go down.
That's a miss.
Miss.
That's
Miss.
a miss.
Miss.
It's also a miss.
That-
Barely, thanks
That is
to
this is the
Valerie's
most
enchantment.
value. This is the most value +1 enchantment I think I've ever given anyone. It saved you like 5 times now.
Well, attack the one below me.
Okay,
Recklessly.
Right. That's a hit.
7.
And
I
that
like the number
one
7.
goes down as you slam it in the face with your book.
I feel like I want to keep fucking staying here because I
At
don't
this
want to take
point,
the opportunity attack.
At this point, you begin to hear more shouting from like above you in the levels of the upper warehouse.
I'm gonna have to eat 2 more attacks if I want to try to move.
I think you might have to wait till your next turn so you can disengage.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
I
wait
mean,
till
they have-
next.
They have-
Either
they
way,
have 10 you have 10-foot reach. You could move a little bit.
They're going
like,
to
so long as
attack you
don't.
twice regardless.
oh yeah, and they do have 10-foot reach, don't they?
No,
Yeah.
Oh,
they don't seem to.
you know what? Fuck it. Let's 5, 10. I'm gonna try to move. So go ahead and make the opportunity attacks.
All
I
right.
guess for
we'll
the
do
first one up top.
yeah.
See if I can get away from him.
Yep, you managed to duck
Miss.
out of the way of his.
5, 10, and then I'm gonna. Damn it!
Huh?
Token move. I can't pick up the token.
What do you mean you can't pick up the token?
My mouse
There
has
you go.
been acting funky. All right, now can I get away from this one without dying? Yeah, I can.
Oh yeah. All right. You know what? We'll say this was a raid. All right.
20,
You know, it was just.
25. So, what's the plan?
I think it's time to bail.
There are more upstairs.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, we can keep going if y'all have healing? Question mark?
I am
Nope.
completely out of everything.
Ditto.
Bottleneck him at the door? Let's go.
I mean, if you want to be the wall,
I mean, I
Be
always
my
have
guest.
been.
I mean,
Well, that's my turn, to be
these
fair.
these are intelligent creatures you're dealing with.
Are they? They're Duragar.
Valerie.
Look, let's just cut our losses here. And I will dash, run the fuck away.
All right.
Ditto.
So Valerie sounds the retreat. And I think basically as you guys like run, you hear like shouting from behind you as they like begin to squeeze through the doorway. But it takes them long enough that you begin to like
Back to the sewer
break-
entrance. Back
break line of sight and kind of like
why do we
run-
need to go through the sewers?
run
Just
off? Yeah.
the sewer
I'm
life.
not- I'm not going back in the sewers.
God. Fine.
Yeah. So they chase you for a little bit, but you manage to sort of like outrun them and kind of escape from the situation.
What times?
What a fucking mess. That was so stupid. All right, so
That's what happens when you just like follow a trail and like blindly wander into some like suspicious looking warehouse. Like,
just want to have a word. Just want to have a word.
just want to have a word with these criminals in their criminal warehouse.
Exactly. You know, it's what you do. Like, if you want to have like a business meeting, you go to the place of business. It shows your commitment. All right, let's go home.
Yeah.
Actually, let's swing by a bathhouse, not in the dock ward, castle ward or above, and then we'll go home.
All right. So you get some looks as you stop at a bathhouse along the way.
Don't ask.
They will charge you 1 gold piece each for these services using the
Fucking
bathhouse.
what the? There's no what? I'll lecture him. No one uses anything but gold here. It's bullshit. Pay a gold.
Electrum is literally like an extinct coin. Like that's the lore of it.
Why do I have all these other coins? All right,
To become
I
gold.
cleaned myself up.
To be fair, most other stuff costs copper and silver, but a bathhouse in the castle ward is a bit of a stretch of expenditure there, so it's a little bit more
Yes.
pricey. All right, yeah. So you spend the gold, you clean yourselves up, wash your clothes as best as you can, and begin to head home.
Yep. Make it back to Troll Skull Manor.
As you're kind of making your way,
Make him away.
can you make a stealth, or not a stealth check, a perception check, all of you, for me?
Hog.
Oh, yeah, I got us. Damn. Never mind.
I need
Alright.
such good wisdom.
I'm just trained in it.
Ari.
Oh, right.
As you guys are backtracking through the city, kind of up through the dock ward, crossing into the castle ward, stopping at the bathhouse, then going up through into the north ward, back towards Trollskull Alley. About halfway to your destination, you notice that something is following you, like in the shadows of the alleyway.
Hmm. All right, we'll keep going like I didn't notice it, but I'll whisper that I think we're being followed. We shouldn't go back there yet.
It worked so well last time we did it. Valerie would suggest maybe we should try and duck off into some side streets, see if we can lose them then. Or maybe
Works
even come
for
up behind them.
Put
Yeah, let's
Okay. Yeah, if you want to
make some random turns, try to get lost in the crowd. I
Yeah,
guess,
if you
if
try
there's a crowd.
to break off and stealth away, I want everybody to make a group stealth check.
Everyone roll stealth. Ah! Why is it always a second roll?
Don't you have armor on anyway?
Oh, yeah. True.
All right. So, with 2 successes and 1 failure, that means that you have succeeded on the group check and you are able to lose your tail. And I think basically as you are kind of like watching, you see basically another one of those sort of like little multi-eyed creatures, basically like just above, like on the rooftops area, like kind of like gazing around, looking around. It actually passes like directly over where you've like hidden yourself and kind of like looks around, its eye stalks pointing in different directions, and then sort of flies off.
Why do I get the feeling we just made an enemy of Sanifar's guild?
What? No.
It was an honest mistake.
Exactly. I mean, so Reginald said hello. The man attacked us.
Well, I attacked first, to be fair. They just enlarged.
Listen, if someone enlarged in front of you, you get scared. It's a perfectly reasonable response. Back to the fucking manor, provided we've lost them.
Yeah, so it seems like after you wait a moment just to make sure that it seems as though you've lost your tail. And you are able to return to the manor.
Anyone home?
Yeah, so as you return home, you see Sheldrake sort of there in the opening room, as well as Olivar. They seem to be having sort of a conversation, and as you arrive, Sheldrake sort of turns, like stands and like bows, and he says, welcome back, milady. Did you enjoy your little foray into the sewers of the city?
Not particularly. And I'll sort of like info dump him on like what happened. And she'll kind of teeper off and be like, at the end, be like, so I think we may have pissed off the Xanathars a little bit.
And he sort of frowns. And he says, that would be a likely outcome, I am afraid. I knew that allowing you to practice these skills of yours would get you into trouble sooner or later. Such things are often the misfortunes of those who go places where they are not allowed. Perhaps you should reflect upon these behaviors and endeavor not to break into locked buildings anymore.
She'll know it's like, yeah, I know. Sorry. Sulk.
Regardless, it is good to see that you have returned safe and sound.
Yes. We need to do something about these rats, though. I was tempted to maybe send someone down and maybe see if they can scrub them off the walls, those markings. I don't think that would help very much.
I mean, it would be less scrubbing and more like pounding them out with a hammer because they're like carved into the stone.
It's a
They're
red
not just
shovel.
drawn in there.
Do I need to make a stone cutting check?
I mean, you don't need to make a stone cutting check to like deface a thing. You just pound the crap out of it with a chisel. If that's what you want
The
to do.
book. Pound with the book.
But yeah,
That's
Valerie's like, well, I was thinking it might be worth maybe tomorrow then, after we've had a rest up, going to speak to these. Oh shit, what were they called again? The stone. They were called the shard shunners. That was it. Thinking maybe trying to go speak to the shard shunners, see if we can maybe convince them to leave us alone.
Sheldrake sort of nods and sort of says, perhaps, but that is a rather dangerous affair, milady. They are not exactly upstanding citizens of this city. I would caution you if you should pursue that measure, especially considering that, given our current finances, you are unlikely able to outbid our erstwhile business rival.
Well, we might be able to come to some sort of agreement, I was thinking. I mean, the option's either that, or I was thinking I could, pardon the pun, but rat them out to the Order of the Gauntlet. They have been looking for lycanthropes, after all.
And, he sort of nods, and he says, perhaps. But from my understanding, given that no less than 3 individual groups have learned of their existence with rather minimal efforts, I do not wager that the Gauntlet is not aware of their presence already.
I see. And they haven't taken care of them? I thought the Gauntlet loved doing things like that.
And, he sort of says, while that is true, they are not all buffoons. They can see the bigger picture, and perhaps it is too troublesome for them what might occur should they do so. You must remember, these shard shunners are known to have ties to one of the largest criminal organizations in the city.
I suppose that is true. I didn't think such influence would expand so far up the chain. Well, anyway. I'm all out of everything, as is everyone else, so maybe it's time we kill time until we can long rest.
Yeah, I'm about done with rats and
Yes, exactly.
other
Actually,
things for one day.
while we're still on the topic of undergroundness, Brad, Have the basement people told me how big my basement actually is yet? Have they knocked down the shitty walls?
They're in the process, right? It takes a while to actually like, properly do
Oh man.
that.
I want to see what's behind my shitty walls, Brad. I want to see like the piles of children's skeletons this hag left behind.
You figure basically on what you've heard that progress is going relatively like as expected, and probably within the next day or so, they'll be able to begin sort of carving out the hastily constructed walls and revealing what lies beyond.
Wonderful. Very well. Well, I guess we'll kill time until we can long rest for the next day.
Sure. Yeah, so you guys kind of begin to sit back. It's about like mid-afternoon, right? So you like sit back, and I think like after like an hour or so, you hear a knocking on your door. Like a heavy knock on the front door.
Reginald, could you get that? I say as I'm
But
reading a book.
I
You answer the
get it.
door.
Whatever you ask, I get it.
Okay. So as you answer the door, you see standing outside several uniformed members of the watch. And you see each one of them is holding sort of by the scruff of the neck of their clothes a single urchin child each. And the children are frantically trying to escape from the grasp of these watch members. And they sort of like look at you and like at the children that they're sort of grasping, and they sort of say, we have received complaints from some of the neighbors that you have been running something of an unsanctioned orphanage here at this establishment, and your wards have been causing some trouble.
What did they do?
He says, well, they... And he kind of like scratches the back of his head. They have damaged one of the newly replaced windows of the building across the street. The owner is rather cross with them and is perhaps seeking to even press charges.
I look at the kids. Did you break the window?
They sort of do that, like, looking away, like kicking their feet, like, no.
Ah. I mean, so what? Is he looking for repercussion
And
or reparations?
he sort of nods and says, I believe he said he was willing to settle this outside of the courts, should you wish to speak with him. There is another matter, a little problem that we also need to perhaps discuss as well, regarding these children and their extended stay in this facility.
I just open the door. Come in.
Yeah, they sort of come in, sort of setting down the three children who
Yep.
immediately like run off and go to like hide.
Valerie sees the kids and is like, "Oh, for goodness' sake, closes the book." Is Sheldrake there?
Yeah, Sheldrake is there, kind of like corrals them to like keep them from causing any more trouble, and he's just like, I will look after the children, milady,
And punish them.
if necessary.
Wonderful. And I'll sort of like, step over to where Reginald is. I guess I get informed of the situation.
Yeah, so he sort of says, I presume that you are the owner of this establishment then, as you kind of introduce yourself.
I am.
And he says, my name is Garrett Stuckham with the Watch. I received a report from your neighbor across the street that there has been some vandalism committed to his building by wards within your care. I come to understand that you have been looking after them for some time.
I nod and I say, "Indeed. I suppose we are their guardians."
And he says, yes, well, about that. It would seem, under cursory investigation, that no official paperwork has been submitted or approved for this facility to serve as an orphanage, and there are no records of adoption either for these children underneath any of your names. As you can understand, that creates somewhat of a issue here. I mean, it is essentially, in the name of the law, kidnapping and unapproved use of a building for an orphanage. It is quite a, well, serious matter, given the fact that they, under your charge, have committed a felony in the likes of vandalism.
Throw 'em under the bus. We don't own them. Take them to jail.
And like, Nevada would be a bit like, no, and she says, right, yes, I suppose the paperwork for something like that has maybe slipped on notice. And I'll say it's like, but I mean, this can be easily resolved. There's no reason to take it any further. It says, I mean, they're just kids after all. It says, I'm sure, and he says, kids do, and he says, kids get in trouble like this all the time. And he says, I'm sure we can sort it out with the gentleman across the street.
And he sort of nods and he says, yes, the owner, Mr. Froon, I believe.
Oh my fucking god.
Seemed to be somewhat amicable to perhaps discussing terms with you in regards to reparations for the damaged windows. There is the other matter, however, of your legal standing and the guardianship of these children. Now, I'm a understandable sort. I can let you off with a warning this time under the pretense that you, at least within the next 24 hours, secure legal guardianship of these children, or at least permission to use this facility as an orphanage. Now, judging by the state of this place, I doubt that you're going to get permission for the second of those two at the moment. So, with that said and done, I would suggest that you seek legal guardianship of these children before the morrow, lest I be forced to take them into custody. And perhaps even, should the city deem it necessary, press charges.
And I sort of like nod and say it's like 24 hours then, and she says, very well, we'll look to get it done expediently. Thank you very much for at least giving us the chance, and sorry again about the pests.
And he sort of nods, and he sort of says, it is, no problem, ma'am. We deal with these things quite frequently. He says, like I said, I am an understandable sort, but the law is the law. He says, I will let Mr. Froon know that you will be contacting him in regards to the broken windows. That is all
Thanks.
for today.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Sort of like, yep, bid him good day, show him out. Turn to the right. Alright. Guardianship first. Froon second. Alright, what does it take to get guardianship done then, Brad?
You will likely have to arrange a meeting with a magister, fill out some paperwork, and basically, pay like an adoption and paperwork fee.
You understand that you're about to legally make these kids part of the faulty family, right?
Not faulty.
Oh
That's
wait, what the fuck?
the
Yeah, that's
character.
Lawrence. The Von
The
Bourbon
Von
family.
Bourbon
Yeah.
family. I imagine there's maybe a box I can check where it's like, do you accept legal guardianship of these children? Like what is it in CK2 where it's like, they're their kid, but they don't actually have access to any of your land or titles upon your demise or viable inheritance? I imagine there's a box I can tick for that.
You adopt them as bastard children.
That's not how that works.
Oh yeah. So you gotta
What?
legally take them in as Von Bourbons.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm kind of
Or do you want a Reginald to take him in? Reginald, I need you to do something for me.
Somebody has to do it.
I mean, would you want to take them in as Von Bourbons?
I feel bad because, like, if they get taken away to an actual orphanage, like Forrest suggesting, the cold-hearted asshole, it's like, they'll lose the, maybe the closest thing they've had to a home and a family, and I feel terrible about it.
Home is where the heart is, and it's with their friend. They might separate them as well.
Yeah, they might separate them as well. It's also
I
something
mean,
I was
what
considering.
does Arya want to take them in?
Hell no.
Bullshit.
Do I have to take them in as
Valerie, as you were
as Rockenheimen?
as you're having this discussion, you feel like a tug on your sleeve, and you look down and you see the three children there, sort of like putting on like their best like puppy dog eyes, like looking up at you, and the two of them, Jenks and Squidly, sort of like say something as Nat is like making her sign language, and they sort of like bow their heads and they're like, "We're sorry for causing you trouble. That was never our intention. We just heard you were having some problems with the mean man across the street, and we thought we'd kind of get back at him a little bit."
And
The problem is he got
them.
caught.
Oh, don't worry. When we adopt you, we'll
No.
teach you how to not get caught.
No, shut up. No, like, Val would sort of like look at the, like, got caught. It's like, no, that's not the prop. Anyway, it says, look, I understand why you would want to do that. And she kind of gets down to her level, and it's like, but you should leave that sort of thing to us. I sort of like gesture around to everyone else, and it's like, it's not your problem. We'll take care of it. You don't need to do anything like this again, okay? If we're having issues with anyone.
And they sort of like nod and in tandem go like, "Yes, ma'am."
Good.
We not adopt them, but like take them in as wards of the Von Bourbon family.
I think that's
Wow.
basic. Well, I'm a little
If you were
bit
still legally
about
a
that.
member of the Von Bourbon family, maybe.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, I was sort of saying it's like, good. Now, go with Sheldrake. I believe he says, I believe some sort of punishment is is in order for what you've done. And I sort of like shudder as I sort of
And he
think
sort
back
of,
to my
like-
childhood and Sheldrake disciplining me.
Claps his hands and he's like, "Yes, come, children. I will make sure that you have learned your lesson thoroughly." And they just sort of like look at him and like back at you. He's just like mouths like, "Please, please don't do this."
Point to him. Go.
And they kind of like kick their feet as they follow after Sheldrake.
He's gonna make them like mop the floors or something, I bet.
Something terrible like mopping the floors.
Yes.
They could use a mopping.
Anyway, so back to the topic of what to do with the kids. After what Thor has said, I'm 100% against Sheldrake adopting them. Not happening.
Do you want me to adopt them? I mean, our options are you or me.
Yeah. The thing is, if I adopt them as like scions into my noble house, even if I am currently disowned, blood and all that,
Yeah.
I
Like-
feel like my dad would be pissed off.
Like the fuck.
Yeah.
So are you asking me to do it?
Well, the thing is, I wouldn't be opposed to the idea because I think it'd be quite funny. I don't know. I sort of like look to you, Sir Reginald, and I'm like, well, one of us has to take. It says someone here has to take ownership of the children. She kind of looks over. Yep, like
I mean-
she kind of looks up at Bassick, who's probably sleeping in like one of the wooden support beams on the ceiling. She's like, can't be
mean-
him. I sort of look over at Oliver and like Arya, who are I don't
Still
know.
New to this.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll do it. It's just a. I mean,
Oliver
I,
immediately
I'll do
gives
it.
you
It's
that,
just
like,
a.
not me look.
All it is a name on a paper.
but you'd be their father,
Would
technically.
would anything change around here?
Well, I suppose not, but
As I said, name on paper.
you'd be responsible for them for their whole life, though,
For their
until
whole
they grow up.
lives. I mean, they've been pretty good till then. Till now.
I said it matters. So like, it's like I don't think you quite get it, Sir Reginald. Like you'll be their father. You have to look after them, and you'll be their guardian until they grow up, and you have to look after them, and you'll be
Fine.
responsible for them. It's
Oh,
like,
don't
is
worry.
that-
They won't be breaking any more windows. We'll make sure of that.
Are
Yes, next
are
time they'll burn the whole house down.
you
Exactly, but they won't get caught this time.
are you positive?
Name on a paper. I don't see the big deal.
Oh, okay. Maybe is it? I sort of look over at Arya and like all of ours. Like, is it just me? Like, am I the only one?
Oliver just shrugs.
I mean, I'm sure at the same time you're getting to the point that like I'm probably not understanding the whole thing. I'm just like, just name on a paper. Who cares?
Yeah, I sort of like turn around. It's like,
And it solves the immediate problem.
right. 24 hours. Like, how long would it take to get like a paper like this finalized, Brad?
I mean, once you've actually requested the meeting with the magister, gotten everything settled down and signed and submitted, I mean, it'd probably be like an hour and a half, 2 hours total. Plus, there's there's a like small sort of like filing fee. Basically, it's not much, but there'd also
God,
be a
more
matter of
fucking money.
Everything here costs money, man. It's the city. Would we need to take the kids?
Most likely, yeah.
All right. The kid, they'll be like, kids, do you want Mr. Rockenheim to be your new father?
What's better than a dwarf raising like 2 humans and a tiefling?
I mean, Squidly is all for it because he was promised that you would teach him how to fight. So in his
Wait,
mind,
did I
that
say that?
means you did. Yes.
What the fuck?
Fuck.
I think
Yeah, you did
and
ages
Bassett
ago.
both did. Yeah. So in
And
his,
most importantly, it means y'all don't get sent off to an orphanage and possibly split up.
yeah.
Yep.
So they're all for it.
All right. Well,
They love it here. They don't want to leave.
you know what,
Puppy dog
Sir
eyes.
Reginald. Yeah, I love these kids. All right. Well, Sir Reginald, if you're sure, um,
Name on paper.
let's do it. I just not a name on. It's Morven, Matt. That's the point I'm trying to get across.
Well, I mean, are you going to do it and get him into the be scions of the von Bourbon family? Are you going to face your dad's wrath about that when he finds out?
I mean, how much more pissed off could he be, honestly? But
This just helps you in the end.
my God. Ah! She kind of screams at the ceiling a little bit. Okay,
Besides, you're
fine.
only like what, 12 years old?
12?
Hard to tell with human.
I'm 22.
They
Like,
had a two in it.
I'm not
They both
young.
have twos in them.
Arya's an elf, isn't she?
Half elf.
Half elf, yeah.
I really can't tell how old she is.
Alright, fine. Let's just. Okay, name on paper. Let's go.
94. That's how old Arya, I'm gonna guess Arya is.
It's a little bit too late in the day to go now, so you have to do that tomorrow.
Now, the
Fine.
only
You could do
bad
that first
thing
thing
that
in
might
the
come
morning.
out of this is, do I have to pass an interview saying I'm fit to be a parent? I'm like, I'll teach them the way of the dwarf.
Yeah, totally.
I'll
Yeah.
beat it into them.
You have to take the parent aptitude test.
Oh my fucking god.
Take a drug test.
Background check.
Oh God, no.
Not the background check.
Not a background check. Anything but that.
God, am I gonna have to do this anyway because you're a fucking crook?
No, they're not gonna background check. Those don't exist in this time.
You underestimate this place's power of bureaucracy.
Nah, we got this. All they're gonna find on me is like what they know about the von Bourbon shit. Like, oh, you worked with the von Bourbon. He must be a good guy. Blah 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 blah.
Oh my God.
All right, so that happens. It's pretty much the end of the day, so I assume you all head to your respective dwellings.
Long rest.
And head to bed for the night. And yeah, I think we're going to kind of end things off here.
Oh, thank God.
But before we do, there's one sort of like little scene during the night. Valerie,
Oh God.
you sort of find yourself in a bit of a restless state that night, overwhelmed by kind of everything that happened through the day, right? A little bit stressed out, having trouble sleeping. So you kind of go to do what it is that you typically do to let off steam and try to get over it, right? Try to calm yourself down so you can get to sleep. You begin kind of like, you head off to the sort of like old, decrepit library, begin like pouring through books and kind of tinkering with your inventions, studying by candlelight or your little sort of like produced light. And before you know it, midnight has kind of come and gone. And you're poring over tomes, scribbling kind of blueprints, trying to design things. And then you finally eventually begin to kind of feel your eyes droop, and darkness presses in on your vision. But as this does happen, you feel this chill wind, sort of this draft, sweeping through the room, and you hear this sort of faint voice carried over this wind, and you hear this. "Who's that trip-trapping over my bridge?" roared the troll. And you kind of like look over and see this sort of faint spectral image of this old woman crowing to a crowd of restless, awing children. And she says, "Why, I'm off to eat sweet green grass," said little Billy Goat Gruff. "No, you're not," rolls the troll, "because I'm going to gobble you up." And you hear suddenly the sound of this tangle of children's shouts and surprise as this old woman like snatches up one of the youngsters, like laughing and cackling. But as she does this, suddenly your eyes like shoot awake, and you look around and see nothing, no one in the library but you.
Fuck. All right. Do I get my long rest?
You do.
Oh, thank God.
But as you're sort of like going back to the main room to like go to where everybody's sleeping, you kind of trip over a tome in the dark, and you look down and you see this book lying on the floor open that you don't recognize.
I go to pick it up and have a look at it. Like,
Alright.
what's the front face like?
So you can see that it appears to be a tome of fairy tales, entitled "100 Tales of Fae," and the pages that it was open to is the story Three Billy Goats Gruff. As you pick up the tome, you see this wind again sort of sweeps through the hall, and the pages sort of flutter around and settle on what appears to be an inscription like written on the first page, and it reads in this sort of like dark brownish red stained ink: "Children, know that Mama Esther will always love you." And that is where we are going to call things for tonight.
Spooky.
Arya, I need you to do some identifying for me.
So, with that, we shall call things for tonight. And James, you shall be in charge of the recap next week.
Yep, suppose it is.
And so, such is the way. Hopefully, Morton will be back by then. But if not, we shall see what occurs. In the meantime, thank you for playing, and have a good night.
Good night.
5
Night.
million viewers.
Bye, Thor.
Bye, Thor. We love you.
XOXO.